Jurko's keys to the game. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Jurko. It is week 4. The Bears are hosting Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. What are the keys to victory?
Carm, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about Soldier Field. We're talking about noon on Sunday. The big slate, the Chicago Bears taking on the LA Rams. The Bears won the last 3 at Soldier Field. At Soldier Field, that's the important thing.
Against the Rams, that's
right.
right.
The Bears are at home. Key number 1. You saw it victimize the New York Giants yesterday when they couldn't find a way to put the ball into the end zone.
Yep.
So what did the Bears have to do? Touchdowns, touchdowns, touchdowns.
Yeah.
No field goals, boys. Let's multiply by 7 in this game.
Yes.
Key number 2.
Love it.
Well, quite frankly, they stink. And I'm talking about the offensive line. It's been putrid. It's been smelly. It's been stinky, even when you include the 2 tight ends in the blocking scheme. Those 2 tight ends stink as bad as the offensive line. So what are we asking for? Let's get back to fundamentals. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get down in the stance. Let's come off the ball. Let's block. Let's run. Let's pass. Let's protect our quarterback. Gives us the best chance. The offensive line, Carmen, needs to play a lot better. Key number 3. Ryan Poles wasted a 4th-round pick on a punter. He did. He wasted a 4th-round pick on the punter. It's a darn shame. But since he's on the team and he's already here and you have invested in him, how about we get something out of the punter this week?
Inside the 5. I'm calling it. It's going to happen.
You're calling it. That's what I want.
There's one inside the 5.
I want something inside the 5.
It's going to happen.
Then maybe even a field changer. One where you're putting the ball from your 17.
Yeah.
You get it, and he boots it all the way down, Carm, into the end zone, and they start from the 20 or the 25, however the NFL wants to do it. It seems like every morning they wake up, they want to change this thing. So what's the kid's name, Taylor?
Torrey Taylor.
Taylor. Let's get something out of the kid from down under, or we're going to put him 6 foot down under, all right?
Now you're like Cap going after Matt Eberflus.
That's right.
They're punching him in the face.
As a player. He's not a coach. He's a player.
Does Danny Lynch have his punter shirt on? I can't
Oh, yeah,
tell.
he's got it. You see
Danny Lynch is here.
University of Iowa crap
Where
that
is
he's
he
got on.
from our sales team?
He's straight ahead.
Where is he?
Straight ahead, over there. By
Yeah,
the
do you have
bar.
your Torrey Taylor punting shirt? No? Maybe burn it.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
the garbage.
Key
Stop
number.
idolizing a silly punter. Yeah. Maybe pick a different school to root for. I don't know. When you got to cheer for the punter as your offense, my God.
We're at the keys to the game here.
I'm sorry.
Do you plan on rambling all day?
A little bit. I can't get over it.
Key number 4.
Can't get over it.
Key number 4. I go to the turnover game. Force the turnovers. And offensive have no turnovers. Yeah. We're at the turnover game.
You get 6 more free wings from beat-ups, too.
Right. If you force a turnover, you get a pick. You get a fumble. You do something great. You end up getting 6 free wings. You got to redeem it within 3 days, guys. No turnovers for our offense. Caleb Williams, don't make any stupid throws.
Yes.
And we've got to force some turnovers in Carm. Those are keys to the Bears' victory.
Smoking.
At Soldier Field, noon, Sunday.
Rams left tackle Lark Jackson returned.
And I took notes.
Yes, very
for
good.
everybody to see. I have taken notes, all right?
Jackson returned from his week 2 suspension, from his 2-week suspension, Jurko, last week. Allowed 3 total pressures and a sack, had a pass blocking grade of 51.2. That was 55th out of 71 tackles to play at least 20% of the snaps in week 3. Believe it or not, the Rams are dead last in PFF's pass blocking grade. It's not the Bears. PFF's a little higher on the Bears than you might think.
Hard to believe.
In terms of pass blocking. The Rams are dead last in PFF's pass blocking grade. Jackson will probably be a little bit better with a game under his belt after maybe shaking off the rust. But to your point, you can get after the quarterback here a little bit. Maybe you force Matthew Stafford into a mistake of his own and you take the ball away. That would be nice. The Bears have 7 sacks on the season, about middle of the pack in the NFL. The Rams have only 4 for what it's worth on the season. So I think there are just a lot of advantages on both sides of the ball. I really do. That lead to a Bears victory on Sunday.
That's where I'm at. We can do another keys. You want to throw some out there?
I think we've given a lot of them out there, haven't we? I mean, but, force Stafford into a turnover and take care of the ball. Matthew Stafford, 12-9 in his career against the Bears. We've seen him have some really good games. We've seen him have some not-so-good games, but he's certainly comfortable playing at Soldier Field.
Our Iowa grads, the biggest pain in the ass for
No.
the Chicago team?
No.
I'm asking. Because of their love and their adoration for this punter?
No.
That got way, way too many opportunities because of the dismal offense that they had in Iowa? How do you fall in love with a punter?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, that's my thing.
You got to really be bad at offense.
For a school that's had such tremendous athletes over the course of, like, the last 50 years.
Of course.
Well, what are you doing falling in love with a punter for?
They had the biggest sensation in college sports the last 2 years, arguably, in Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. They're focusing on a punter.
But their poor football team, they play like it's 1926, and you're cheering for the punter. I mean, you're making punter T-shirts. What can you do?
Well, that's when you know there's a problem at the school.
Well, it's when you know there's a problem with your football team.
There's a problem
in
in Iowa.
Offense.
There's a problem in Iowa. Iowa City, Iowa. There's a problem.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, who was their punter?
I have no idea.
Who was their quarterback?
Their quarterback is Nick Foles.
When Patrick Mahomes won his first Super Bowl, who was the punter?
Have no idea. I don't know.
When Tom Brady and the Bucs won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, who was the punter?
I have no idea. I don't know who the punters are. Why? Because you should know who your punters are.
Of course not.
And you shouldn't artificially try to make them superstars. And you should never draft them.
No, of course not.
That'll be Ryan Pohl's demise here.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. Somebody should tell him he should probably stop drafting them, but he'll be all right.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing.
At least I think. Am I still drinking too much of the Kool-Aid? I don't know. I still feel like there's been...
Who are they going to bring in as a special assistant to identify offensive linemen? That's what they really need.
Has there been more good than bad? I feel like there has been. I know like we could poke some holes in the way the offseason unfolded now with the way that line's played and how shaky it looks, but like I still think there's been more good than bad. Am I crazy? Like if we literally started doing the checklist, am I
position
nuts?
by position? His defensive backfield is top notch.
I mean like when you think about the moves, okay? Like hit, miss, Claypool, miss.
Sweat, hit.
Sweat, hit. What do we do with like
Nate Davis, miss.
Yeah, Davis, miss. Valus, miss. Tyler Scott, I don't know, man. He's not even on the field. He had like 5 snaps last week.
They're not giving him an opportunity, but I think you got to give him another year.
What about Bates? We don't know yet. Probably in the middle. Bates will put in the middle.
Yeah, don't know yet. Put Scott in the middle, too.
Scott is in the middle. Guys like Brisker's a hit.
Gordon's a hit.
Tyreek?
Re-signing of Jalen Johnson is a hit.
Do we give him credit for that, though?
Well, I mean, you're smart enough to re-sign him.
All right. Keeping Jalen. Okay. Jalen.
T.J. Edwards a hit.
Edwards hit. Okay. Edmonds.
In the middle. Middle for Edmonds.
Maybe more of a hit. Maybe leaning. I'm going to put an arrow, like slightly leaning.
A lean? You're going to put a lean for that?
What do we do about drafting 2 punters? I'm sorry. Drafting 2 punters in 3 years is a miss.
That's a big,
right? Like
miss.
That's a big miss.
It's a mistake, is what that is.
You can't have 3 drafts and have drafted 2 punters.
Mistake starts with miss.
Billings. Billings hit.
Good for you. And then Jervin Dexter.
Dexter hit. DJ Moore hit, right?
Yes.
Like just the trade in general.
Caleb, the whole thing, the way it broke down.
I mean, there's more hits. So there are more hits. There's some like outstanding. I mean, like we don't know yet. Not like outstanding, like superfluous. In the middle, like we don't know yet.
Darnell Wright.
Well, Darnell Wright is in the middle, man. I hate to say that,
but you better throw an arrow going that way.
I will. I'll throw an arrow going that way.
You better put an arrow toward
I will.
hit.
I'll put an arrow towards hit, but it's in the middle. There's still more that's positive than negative. So that's good. I still have some faith. And how they find, the right pieces on their own line, I don't know. Maybe you start rethinking the way you're scouting that, or what do you think? Well, you got to self-scout, and I think they do that. All right, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Matt Eberflus will be meeting the media, should be any moment, and we'll carry that live once he steps to the podium at Halas Hall. We'll get back out to your phone calls, too. I know people want to talk about this game. Do you feel as good as Jurk and I do about this Rams game, or are you thinking we're crazy? 312-332-3776.